In this episode of Super Seicento, it's all happening. Hello you lot, Miller Corner here, and for the first time in far too long, welcome back to Super Seicento. Now, after we had a few issues with flocking the dashboard after that came out, this car has been left pretty unloved and neglected, if I'm honest. Since I got my 2012 Fiat Punto Twin Air as my new daily driver, this has been put on the driveway and left unloved for over a month now, and to be honest, I feel quite guilty about that. This is my forever car. This is the car I love more than any other in the world, and it needs to have some proper care and attention put on it, and now it will. The fact there's sun coming into the shop represents the dawn of a new era, and the fact it's pointing uphill represents the fact that it's going all the way up from here. See, plenty of metaphors in this. You see, I think about these things. Today is going to be a general day of admin. We've got a few things to sort, a few things to tidy up, and a few things to get ready and clean before we get the car back over to the workshop next episode for what will be the biggest step for this car so far. First things first though, this thing's been left unused and unloved for weeks now, so I'm going to tidy a few bits up and get it ready for that next big step. Let's have a look inside. Oh, that needs some looking to. Now, I think the main problem... Sorry, just I haven't sat in this for a while and that feels so good. Little steering wheel, awesome seats. Yeah, this is going to be awesome. Anyway, yes, so one of the main problems with the interior at the minute, quite apart from the fact there isn't a dash or a speedo or a rev counter or much in the way of anything, to be fair, is the kind of crap which you can see all this dust and all this sort of just general rubbish, which I think is just sort of stuff from the air. You don't see any of this dirt, obviously, when the dash is actually in, and as is the case with most of these things, ignorance is usually bliss. But of course, now I know it's there, and I am a little bit of a clean freak, I need to get this sorted. So I think first things first, brush, dustpan, hoover, whatever it takes, we're getting all this out. Okay, so that is pretty much done. It's certainly a hell of a lot better than it was when we started. I am looking at all this wiring and all these clips and all these screw holes and things like that. I'll be honest, I am living in fear a little bit of when the dash goes back in, because all I'm doing is sitting here thinking, my God, I hope I remember where everything goes. Let me take you off your mount, because we're going to move on next to this, which is our center console thing with our kind of ashtray and the gear lever and the handbrake and a few other bits and pieces in it, including at the moment half of the car, because yeah, high tech. In our move to take away all the grey in this interior, next on the list is going to be this. So what I want to do is pull this centre console out for a bit of a paint job. So we're going to take a few bits and pieces out of it, undo a few screws, undo a few clips, and remove this from the car. Or, you know, just snap it out. I maintain that is still the best way to do pretty much any job on a car. Anyway, I've got the centre console out, I've taken the cigarette lighter out of it, and the plan now is we're going to sand it down, clean it, mask it, prep it, and then give it a nice new paint job. And the paint I've chosen, in line with the fact that this isn't going to be in direct light, so it won't distract me while I'm driving, I can go for something a little bit glossier than, of course, what I've done with the gauges and the dashboard. So I've chosen BMW Black Sapphire. Now, this is a really nice metallic paint. I've seen it on some cars and it is a gorgeous colour. I think it's going to suit the centre console and the armrests, which will eventually be painted in this colour as well, really nicely. In fact, I'm really keen to get this on and see what it looks like. Thing is, you have seen me paint stuff plenty of times before, so rather than go through the whole process again, I'm going to prep this and then we're going to have an epic painting montage.
was intense. Anyway, the next job on the list is to do with the speedo, because after we painted this and the rev counter cluster, the guts of the speedo itself went into storage, and no, they didn't actually, they just sort of went. Anyway, they've now unwent, and the next job on the list is using this and this bit, put the speedo back together. It isn't actually that bad of a job from memory, so I reckon slot that back into there. So that goes in there, lovely, lovely. I am aware you can do this with a screwdriver. Other tools, such as your hands, are available. And because we're doing this on a budget build, we're doing this by hand. Or, you know, don't do that. There's every chance, if you don't put it back together tightly, you get a rattle, and it'll be an untraceable rattle, and the last place you'll think to look is in the speedo. This isn't actually the most complex speedo disassembly in the world, so if I decide in the future that I do want to go with a wacky colour like an orange or a white or a lime green, I can do that, only having to undo a few screws and bits and pieces. And as we've seen, it really isn't the hardest thing to do to pull anything apart in this car, to be fair. There's a couple of little awkward bits. When we did the suspension, and we've done the suspension a few times now because we did lowering springs and then coilovers on the old shell, and then obviously we've switched to coilovers on the new shell. Things like the fact the bolts on the struts are two different sizes, even though they're holding the same strut on, and little quirks and things like that. But the actual like assembly and disassembly of this car and most of the bits on it, pretty damn easy, he says, not being able to get a screw in. If you want a cheap car to learn how to spanner on cars with and how to take apart cars and do stuff with cars, and who doesn't, let's be honest, get yourself a Seicento. They cost no money, they're fun to drive, they've got character, parts are cheap, if not incredibly common. But if you need any stock parts, come to me, because I do have an entire car's worth of spares, as some of you may know, most of which is still available. So I am your man for parts, and you can watch my mad videos on how to do stuff to them, and you can make your own Super Seicento. If a few people watch my videos and go, those Seicentos are pretty cool, you can do some stuff to them, I might get one of those, and a few more people get them and make really cool ones and keep them on the road, I will be very happy. If any of you watching have bought a Seicento or any sort of Fiat or Italian car on my recommendation or my advice, I suppose, let me know. I'd be very keen to know if I'm spreading the Fiat love, and I'm also keen to know why this bloody screw's not going in. You can't see it because I've got a hoodie on, but underneath my hoodie I'm wearing my Italiano Squadre t-shirt from last year's meet, because this year it's happening again, and we've booked our tickets for that, and that's happening. So to anyone asking if I'm going to Poland again, hell yeah, I'm going to Poland again, and the Super Seicento is going to look better than ever when it goes, so stay tuned for that saga. Okay, so it's not a badly behaved screw, it's a badly behaved hole. Don't you hate it when your hole is badly behaved? Lads, that part is now on and looking mad. Now we're going to do the same with our back piece, and I'm fairly certain this is just a couple of clips. Let's test that theory, shall we, Captain Confident? I mean, that does clip in, but also I've been a colossal moron in that those screws there, oh god, those screws there that I've done have to go through these holes, so they have to come out. We're all intelligent, we're all clever on this channel. I say we, the only people who do anything with DIY on this channel are me and my dad. So let's try that again. We're all intelligent on this channel apart from me. Check that out. That looks mad. That looks much better than it used to, a lot cooler, a lot less dated for being black as opposed to that hideous, hideous grey that it was. In fact, if I compare, bear with me. So this is a standard one. This is the other one, old, new. How good does that look? That looks really dated and old and crap. That's going in the car, I think. That's going on the to-do later but not put back in the car pile. It's quite a large pile at the moment. With the speedo and rev counter back together and looking mad, I leave the centre console overnight to dry out. So, we're 24 hours later and the centre console has dried. It looks absolutely awesome. That BMW black sapphire paint is gorgeous. There's a nice little metallic pearl to it, and it has completely lifted that old, ugly and really, really quite dated looking centre console. I'm so happy with it, to be honest. It's another step towards making that interior look exactly how I want it to. Modern, up to date, and me being me, just a little bit different. If you leave me alone with something that's not black and a can of black paint, I'm going to make it black. So those pieces of trim that go along the insides of the A-pillars were very much not black. They were in fact very light grey, and they were one of the things that made that interior look perhaps the most dated and the oldest. Well, off camera, because frankly you're probably bored of watching me paint stuff at this point, I have painted those as well. Those are also satin black. They look gorgeous, and they too are going to nicely lift up that interior. And now I think we should grab all the bits we need, jump in the car and head to the workshop. I'm so excited. This has been a moment I've been waiting for months, and I can't wait to just drive that car again, get it to the workshop and get on with the next step of this project. So let's get on with it.
Right then, here we go. First time driving this in over a month. Sorry buddy, it's been too long, but no more. Oh, we're all working. Systems appear to be live. Here we go, let's crank it. First time. Oh, I've missed that noise. That missed it so much. Oh, seatbelt. I haven't missed reaching around a big Subaru seat to get my seatbelt. God, compared to the Punto, this feels so small. It's ridiculous. Right. Oh, the pedal box. Everything about this just feels so small compared to the Punto. I almost got used to that. Right, handbrake off. Brakes are probably going to be a bit sticky, and they are. Here we go. Down the curb, okay. Steering wheel still feels small as hell, like it always did. Over the curb, which is a bit steep, and we're going to go down with a bit of a thud, I think. Oh, there we go. We can go now. It's driving. It's back. Yes, still just as awesome as it ever was. Let's give it a proper stretch of the legs. Got to be quite careful with it because obviously it hasn't been properly driven in a while, and it's still cold, and I don't have a rev counter, so I don't know where my red line is. So for now I'm just going to bumble along with a big old smile on my face. Oh, it's not perfect, and it's obviously not done. There's so much to do, but now I've driven it again, and now I've fallen back in love with it immediately. You saw my face. I've fallen back in love with this car immediately. Oh, now I know what we're working towards, and you know what? It's going to be a lot of work getting that dash back in. It's going to be a lot of work getting the bodywork done. And some people would say I'm an idiot for even attempting it, but I'm stoked. Oh, yes! Oh! After driving the Punto, which is so big and so lethargic by comparison, and it's got a big long rowing gear change, and the steering hardly feels like you're connected to the road at all. Oh! My little darty, little noisy... Let's do a boot for. Oh! Oh, yes! Oh my god, I love this car! I love this car so much! I'm going to sit here at the lights, waiting for the light to go green, and when that light goes green, this light goes green as well, because it will be the start of the next chapter for the Super Seicento, and I don't know if you can tell, I'm pretty excited. I'm stoked. Lights going green, let's go! Oh yes! So, the Super Seicento is back on the road. Let's get over to that workshop and let's carry on with this build on this epic little car. I can't wait, and I hope you can't wait either for everything that's to come. Get subscribed so you don't miss it, and I'll catch you very soon, everybody. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.